Women will never admit this to you, my friend, but some of the things that secretly turn them on the most are the ones that make no logical sense at all. You think she wants constant attention, sweet messages and soft words. You give her comfort, you answer fast, you play the nice guy who is always available. And then she gets bored, pulls back, or suddenly chases the man who is calmer, quieter, and less invested than you. You start asking yourself, what is wrong with me, when the real question is, what is actually happening inside her? Let's be real, folks. Women have hidden pleasures they will never say out loud. They get charged when you are not chasing. They feel a pull when your attention is rare. They think about you more when you stay mysterious, unbothered, and in control of yourself. They hate that it works on them, but it does. In this video, I am going to walk you through 10 secret pleasures women have but hide from men, and how a stoic, grounded man can use this knowledge without games or neediness. Once you understand these triggers, you stop acting like a boy begging to be chosen and start moving like a man she cannot ignore. This is not about manipulation. It is about understanding raw female psychology today deeply. Let's get into it. She loves when you ignore her. Let's be real, folks. Women will swear up and down that they hate being ignored. They'll complain about it to their friends, post about it online, and act offended when a man doesn't jump the second they text. But behind that reaction is something far more primitive. When a man holds back his attention, when he doesn't respond immediately, when he's calm and unavailable, instead of eager, something in her gets activated, not her mind, her body. Women don't chase attention, they chase the meaning behind attention. When your attention is rare, she assumes it's valuable, and when she doesn't get it, she starts wanting it more. Take David, 52, from Colorado. After his divorce, he started seeing Amanda, 49. At first, he responded instantly to everything. Good morning texts, small jokes, voice notes. He thought he was being respectful, but her interest slowly dropped. She got shorter, colder, less excited. One day, David got busy with work and went 6 hours without replying. Suddenly, Amanda started double texting, sending photos, checking in. Why? Because the silence created a gap her mind rushed to fill. She didn't like that she wasn't the center of his world anymore, and that discomfort woke her attraction back up. Now flip it. Karen, 55, from Tennessee, admitted something during a coaching call. She said, I hate when a man ignores me, but it works. If he responds too fast, I assume he's too available. If he waits, I can't stop thinking about him. She wasn't proud of it, but she was honest. Women don't get turned on by attention. They get turned on by tension. And silence, when used calmly and without anger, creates tension. This is where most men mess up. They think ignoring her means playing games. No, my friend, true stoic ignoring is not about manipulation. It's about staying centered instead of reacting. It's choosing your schedule over her emotions. It's not giving instant responses just to keep her comfortable. A woman respects a man who doesn't rearrange his entire life the moment she appears. She feels drawn toward a man whose world doesn't shrink down to her. Stoicism reinforces this. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When a woman senses that your attention is not controlled by her moods, her tests, or her timing, she feels your strength. Women are biologically drawn to men whose emotions aren't easily influenced, and nothing communicates that faster than calm, intentional silence. Ignoring her the right way does 3 things. It gives her space to feel desire. It forces her to wonder where she stands. It shows her you're not desperate for her validation. Women crave a man who values himself more than her approval. They crave a man whose presence is strong, but whose absence is felt. When you stop offering constant reassurance, you give her the chance to lean in. When you stop chasing, she starts thinking. When you stop trying to impress her, she starts questioning what you're thinking about. That mental loop is what pulls her closer. So here's the truth. She doesn't love being ignored. She loves what it does to her. She loves the desire it creates. She loves the uncertainty. She loves the tension that builds when you stay silent long enough for her imagination to take over. Now type this in the comments so it stays with you. I control my attention. Stick with me because the next secret reveals why women get even more drawn to you when other women start noticing you. She gets turned on when other women want you. Let's be real, folks. Women hate the idea of competition, but they react to it instantly. The moment another woman smiles at you, laughs at your joke, or gives you even a little attention, something shifts in her. She may roll her eyes, act annoyed, pretend she doesn't care, but inside she feels a spark she didn't feel 5 minutes earlier. Attraction intensifies when she sees she isn't the only one who sees your value. Women are wired to desire what is desired by others. It's not manipulation, it's psychology. Social proof works on everyone, but for women it hits emotionally and biologically. If other women want you, it means you carry traits worth wanting: confidence, presence, strength, masculine composure. These signals bypass her logic and hit her instincts. And instincts always win. Here's the part she'll never say out loud. When another woman shows interest in you, she doesn't just get jealous. She gets energized, alert, engaged. Her mind starts asking questions she wouldn't ask otherwise. Why do they want him? What do they see in him? What does he have that I didn't value enough? Suddenly, her attraction becomes active instead of passive. She starts leaning in because she doesn't want to lose something she now realizes is desirable. Stoicism actually explains this pattern better than modern psychology. Seneca said we value things more when they are at risk. Loss sharpens appreciation. Even the possibility of losing you forces her to re-evaluate her behavior, her tone, her effort. She becomes more attentive, more feminine, more intentional. Not because you demanded it, but because competition shook her comfort. This is why men who women call average-looking suddenly become attractive when women notice other women want them. Nothing changed in the man. The only thing that changed was perception, and perception shapes desire far faster than logic ever will. But here's where most men ruin it. They try to force jealousy. They brag about other women. They exaggerate how wanted they are. That doesn't create attraction. It creates distrust. The power isn't in flaunting attention. The power is in naturally receiving attention because you're a man with a grounded presence. You carry yourself well. You don't look desperate. You aren't seeking validation. Women sense that from across a room. A stoic man doesn't chase attention. He attracts it by being centered and confident in who he is. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your worth is determined by the value you place on your own thoughts." When you move through the world with quiet confidence, other women notice, and when they notice, the woman you're with feels it too. The more she sees you are not invisible, the more visible you become to her. She may not enjoy the jealousy, but she enjoys what it awakens inside her. Desire, urgency, curiosity, even possessiveness. Women do not want a man no one wants. They want a man who could choose others but chooses them. That difference is powerful. The truth is this: she gets turned on not just by the competition, but by the realization that you are attractive beyond her personal opinion. And that realization makes her see you with new eyes. Now type this in the comments so it stays with you. I elevate my value. Stay tuned, because the next secret reveals why women get even more addicted to you when they feel they won you over someone else. Secret 3. She craves the feeling of winning you back. Let's be real, folks. Women don't just want a man, they want the feeling of earning him. The moment she realizes she might be losing you, something fires up inside her. Not panic, not fear, competition. The silent instinctive drive to reclaim what she feels slipping away. Women will deny this all day long, but the truth is simple. Winning a man back feels better to her than having him from the beginning. Take Brian, 54, from Minnesota. He'd been seeing Laura, 52, for a few months. Things were good at first. Fun conversations, strong chemistry, predictable rhythm. But slowly Laura started taking him for granted. She replied whenever she felt like it, cancelled plans last minute, and acted like he'd never go anywhere. One week Brian stopped chasing. He didn't text first. He didn't explain himself. He focused on his routines, gym work, and time with friends. Suddenly Laura woke up. She started checking in, remembering details she used to ignore, dressing nicer for their dates, even asking if something was wrong. She didn't miss Brian. She missed the feeling of losing him, and then winning him back. Now flip it. Monica, 51, from Arizona, told her therapist something brutally honest. She said, "I got bored when he gave me everything. But when I thought I was losing him, I felt alive again." She wasn't proud of it, but it was real. Women feel a surge of desire when they sense a man slipping away, not because they want drama, but because the stakes bring clarity. Only when something is at risk do they realize its value. This is basic psychology and ancient Stoic truth at the same time. Epictetus said, "We value things more when they are threatened." Women interpret the potential loss of a man as proof of his worth. That tension wakes up parts of her mind and body she forgot existed. Suddenly she tries again. She invests. She pays attention. She softens. Not because you pushed her, but because she feels she must re-earn you. This is where most men fail. They think winning her once is enough. They think showing devotion keeps her loyal. But comfort kills feminine desire. When a woman feels she already has you, she relaxes into entitlement. She stops trying. She stops seeing your value. She stops imagining losing you. And imagination is what drives female desire. But when you pull your energy back, not out of anger, not to manipulate, but because you're living your life, she feels it. She senses the shift. Your absence becomes louder than your presence. And in her mind, a challenge is born. Her ego wants to know if she can still pull you in. Her desire wants to feel the victory of reclaiming something she almost lost. Her emotions want reassurance, but her attraction wants pursuit. Women don't crave stability from men. They crave certainty that they can still attract that man. A woman winning you back is more intoxicating to her than you winning her in the first place. Because the second time she knows it wasn't luck. It was earned. That's the pleasure she hides. Not the pleasure of loving you, the pleasure of regaining you. Now type this in the comments so it stays with you. I protect my value. Stay with me, because the next secret explains why mystery makes her more obsessed than your compliments ever could. Secret 4. She gets addicted to your mystery. Let's be real, folks. Women say they want communication, clarity, and openness. But the same women who preach those things get hooked on the man who doesn't reveal everything. The man who doesn't explain every move he makes. The man who leaves room for imagination. Mystery is not an accident. Mystery is a masculine advantage. When she can't read you fully, when she can't predict you, when she can't categorize you, something inside her lights up. Not fear, not confusion, desire. A woman's attraction grows where her imagination has space to work. And when you don't overshare, over-explain, or over-communicate, her mind starts filling in the blanks on its own. That's where obsession begins. Not with information, but with uncertainty. The unknown makes her curious. Curiosity makes her invested. Investment makes her emotionally attached. And emotional attachment is the foundation of her desire. Modern men ruin attraction by giving too much too fast. They think transparency equals intimacy. They think telling her everything equals connection. But connection doesn't come from explaining yourself. It comes from holding yourself with quiet confidence. Mystery is not about being distant. It's about being selective. You share pieces of yourself slowly, deliberately, and naturally. That's what makes her lean in. That's what keeps her guessing. That's what keeps her coming back. Stoicism backs this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius said the mind adapts and turns obstacles into fuel. When you stay mysterious, you create a soft obstacle. Not a wall, not a barrier, but a gap she wants to close. She invests because your restraint demands it. She becomes more expressive because your silence invites it. She reveals more because you reveal less. Women open up to men they want to understand, and if she feels she already understands, your desire dies. Mystery doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean ignoring her. It means you don't give her emotional access she hasn't earned. It means you don't tell your entire life story in the first week. It means you don't rush to label the connection. You move at your own pace. You let her wonder where she stands. You let her feel the tension of wanting to know more. That tension is what keeps desire alive. Here's what women will never tell you. They don't fantasize about men who are predictable. They fantasize about men whose depth they cannot fully reach. The man with layers, the man with discipline, the man who does not chase validation by oversharing. Mystery makes her feel like discovering you is a reward, and rewards are addictive. This is why the man who talks less, listens more, and reveals himself slowly always stands out. He doesn't flood her with attention, he doesn't drown her in information. His presence is calm, his words are measured, his emotions are steady. She can sense there is more beneath the surface, and that sense keeps her hooked. If you want deeper insights into how to communicate like this, how to build presence, and how to master masculine restraint without playing games, consider joining the channel membership. That's where I break down the advanced Stoic techniques you won't hear on YouTube. Now type this in the comments so it stays with you. I master mystery. Don't go anywhere, because the next secret exposes why your restraint, not your pursuit, is what drives her wild. Secret 5. Your restraint drives her wild. Let's be real, folks. A man's restraint does more to a woman's mind than compliments, gifts, or long romantic messages ever will. Women are used to men rushing in, showing interest too fast, giving everything away before she's earned any of it. So when you show discipline instead of desperation, you separate yourself from 90% of men in your calm pace, your controlled reactions, your ability to hold back instead of overreaching. These are the things that make her feel desire instead of comfort. Women are emotional creatures, not logical calculators. They feel attraction through tension, not certainty. Restraint is the masculine version of tension. When you're not always available, not overly expressive, not pouring out affection at the smallest sign of interest, she starts paying attention. She starts leaning in. She starts wondering what's behind your control. Take Greg, 53, from Nevada. He started dating Michelle, 50. She was used to men flattering her non-stop because she'd aged well and knew how to carry herself. But Greg didn't worship her. He didn't flood her phone. He didn't rearrange his life for every date. He showed genuine interest, but at a steady, grounded pace. And what happened? Michelle began trying harder. She planned nicer dates. She dressed with intention. She initiated conversations. Greg's restraint created room for her effort. Now, look at another example. Stephanie, 49, from Ohio, admitted something most women will never say. She said, "When a man gives too much too early, it feels like pressure. But when he shows control, it feels like confidence." That's exactly the point. Restraint isn't about withholding affection. It's about showing you're not moved by impulse. You're driven by intention. Women desire men who choose, not men who chase. When you slow down instead of rushing, she feels the difference. When you stay composed when she expects you to get emotional, she feels the difference. When your energy doesn't spike every time she gives you a little attention, she feels the difference. Your restraint tells her one thing very clearly. This man does not need me. And paradoxically, that's what makes her want you more. A woman becomes more feminine around a man who is emotionally steady. She becomes more expressive, more warm, more invested, because you're giving her space to move toward you. Most men smother a connection before it even has time to breathe. They push, they hurry, they try to lock things in, but urgency kills attraction. Patience builds it. Restraint also shows strength. Female psychology reacts intensely to strength, not physical strength but emotional discipline. The kind of discipline that says, I won't overreact, I won't over-explain, I won't beg for reassurance, but I'm not chasing. That's the energy that makes her think about you at night. That's the energy that makes her replay conversations in her head. That's the energy that makes her try to impress you, because she knows your attention isn't cheap. A woman falls for the man who moves slowly enough for her to chase. Now type this in the comments, so it stays with you. I choose restraint. Stick with me, because the next secret reveals the one thing women secretly love, but pretend they hate, when you see straight through their games and call their bluff. Secret 6. She loves when you see through her. Let's be real, folks. Women test men not because they want drama, but because they want truth. They want to know who you are underneath your surface. And one of their deepest secret pleasures is when a man sees straight through their act, through the polite smile, through the fake indifference, through the little games they play when they want more but don't want to look too eager. Most men fall for the performance. The Stoic man doesn't, and that is exactly why she becomes drawn to him. Women hide their real intentions more than men do. They flirt indirectly. They hint, they pull back, they pretend not to care. But when you read her accurately without reacting emotionally, she feels exposed in a way that excites her, not scares her. Being seen is something women crave far more than they admit, because being understood by a strong man validates their femininity and their desire. She may say she's fine when she's disappointed. She may pretend she's busy when she's hurt. She may act uninterested when she actually wants your attention. And when you calmly acknowledge what's really happening without judgment, without frustration, and without losing your center, she feels a spark of attraction she cannot control. Stoicism explains why this works. Epictetus said the key is to understand impressions clearly, not react blindly to them. When you see her behavior for what it is, instead of getting pulled into the emotional noise, you demonstrate mastery. You show her she cannot shake your stability, she cannot manipulate your mood, she cannot push you into insecurity, and strangely that makes her respect you more. Women aren't attracted to men they can control. They're attracted to men they can't fool. Your ability to see through her gives her the one thing her ego does not like, but her heart responds to accountability. She feels grounded around you because you don't accept surface-level answers. She feels safe because you're not confused by her mixed signals. She feels desire because your clarity forces her to drop the act. Here's what happens when you see through her calmly. She becomes more honest. She becomes more feminine. She becomes more emotionally open. And she stops testing you as often because she knows you're not easily fooled. Women secretly love when a man says something like, "You're not upset about the text. You're upset because you wanted more time with me." Or, "You're not pulling away because you're busy. You're pulling away because something I said hit deeper than you expected." That level of emotional accuracy makes her feel understood in a way most men can't provide. The moment she feels understood, attraction deepens. But the key is staying grounded. Seeing through her doesn't mean calling her out aggressively. It means acknowledging what's happening without losing your composure. Your calm truth is far more powerful than confrontation. When a woman realizes you can read her but she cannot destabilize you, she feels drawn to you on a deeper level. Your insight becomes addictive. Your clarity becomes rare. Your presence becomes something she doesn't want to lose. Now type this in the comments, so it stays with you. I see clearly. Stay tuned, because the next secret exposes why your rare attention is one of the most intoxicating forces in female psychology. Your rare attention feels like a drug. Let's be real, folks. Nothing affects a woman more deeply than a man whose attention isn't always available. Not because you're playing games, not because you're trying to manipulate her, but because your attention actually means something. When your presence is intentional instead of constant, when your words are measured instead of overflowing, she feels it in a way she can't control. Rare attention hits her like a drug because it creates anticipation, uncertainty, and emotional high points she doesn't experience with men who give everything away instantly. Women get flooded with attention daily. Compliments online, messages from men they don't want, interest from men they don't respect. It's background noise. So when your attention breaks that noise, she feels the difference in her body. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. The calm, grounded, masculine energy behind it. Take Mark, 56, from Texas. He started talking to Evelyn, 53, after meeting at a mutual friend's dinner. She was used to men complimenting her non-stop, because she had a youthful, vibrant personality. But Mark didn't hand out attention like candy. He didn't rush replies. He didn't over-compliment. When he gave attention, it was direct and masculine. And what happened? Evelyn found herself checking her phone, more often replaying his words, and wondering what he was doing when he wasn't texting. The rarity of his attention made every moment feel amplified. Now, flip it. Sandra, 51, from Florida, said something most women will never admit. She said, "When a man doesn't always respond, it makes me more invested. When he does respond, it feels special." That's exactly how rare attention works. It creates emotional contrast. Without contrast, there is no desire. Without desire, there is no chase. Your rare attention also communicates something she feels immediately. This man is not lonely. He has a life. He has priorities. He has structure. He's not waiting at home hoping she'll text first. Stoic man gives attention from strength, not from emptiness. And women can sense the difference instantly. Most men give attention because they want something in return. They want validation, approval, affection, but a stoic man gives attention because he chooses to. That choice is what makes it powerful. Marcus Aurelius said the value of a thing comes from the meaning you assign to it. When your attention is selective, measured, and anchored in self-respect, she assigns it more value. Suddenly your good morning hits different. Your compliment lands deeper. Your presence feels heavier. And here's the secret she hides. Rare attention doesn't just make her want you. It makes her crave consistency from you. She starts trying harder. She becomes more responsive. She offers more warmth. She steps into her feminine energy because your restraint creates the masculine polarity she's been missing. But let me be clear, my friend. Rare attention isn't silence. It isn't disappearing. It's giving her enough to stay connected, but not enough to feel entitled. It's showing interest without drowning her in it. It's being present without being predictable. That balance is what makes your attention addictive. Now type this in the comments, so it stays with you. I give with intention. Stay with me, because the next secret reveals why the fear of being replaced hits women far harder than they will ever say out loud. Secret 8. She panics at the thought of being replaced. Let's be real, folks. A lot of women talk big about independence. They say things like, "I can do better, men are replaceable, I do not need anyone." It sounds powerful on the surface, but underneath all of that is a simple fear they will never admit. The fear of being replaced. The fear that you, a man she actually wants, could decide she is not worth the stress and move on to someone else. Women do not panic because you take a little distance. They panic when they feel you genuinely could leave and build something with another woman. That is a very different kind of pressure. When your energy shifts from chasing to moving forward with your own life, she feels it. You are no longer orbiting her. You are no longer waiting for her. In her mind, that means another woman could take the spot she assumed belonged to her. Social media tells women there are endless options, but reality, especially past 35, teaches a harder lesson. Good men are not easy to find. Good men who are stable, disciplined, emotionally grounded, and not broken by life are even rarer. When she realizes you are that kind of man, the idea of being replaced by someone else hits her deeper than she will ever admit. Stoicism explains this clearly. Seneca said, "We often suffer more from imagination than from reality." Her imagination is what torments her. She starts picturing you laughing with someone new, going on dates, giving another woman the calm presence she once had. She feels replaced in her mind before it ever happens in real life. That imagined loss is enough to shake her. A woman may act angry or annoyed when she senses competition, but underneath that anger is fear. Fear that she waited too long to take you seriously. Fear that she played too many games. Fear that she assumed you would always be there, and now she is watching you slowly detach. She tells her friends you changed. In reality, you simply remembered your value. A Stoic man does not threaten to replace her. He does not make speeches. He does not brag about other women. He simply lives in a way that makes it clear he will not stay where he is not respected and chosen. Marcus Aurelius said, "If something is not good for the hive, it is not good for the bee. If a woman is not good for your peace, she is not good for your life." When you live by that, she feels it. Here is the secret. The fear of being replaced often makes her more attracted to you, not because you are cruel, but because your willingness to walk away proves you are not dependent on her. Women do not respect men who cannot leave. They respect men who choose to stay. Choice requires options. Options require value. When she feels she could lose